Today we're talking about the 5 skills that banjo beginners don't spend enough time on. So this is something I've noticed just talking to a lot of beginner banjo players, and to be honest, it's kind of stunted my growth as well. So when you start out playing banjo, you really want to spend a lot of time playing tabs, learning other people's songs, right? And that is part of the fun of playing the banjo. Nothing wrong with it, but you need to develop these other skills in unison with that if you want to progress as a banjo player and sort of eventually be playing your own songs. And if you are totally new, if you're really just picking up the banjo for the first time, you've yet to sort of play your first song or two, go check out the Quick Start Guide to the Banjo. It's in the description. It's a 90-minute, totally free video course that'll help you get started as well. And also, if you could, I'm on a mission to grow this channel. Hit like, hit subscribe. It really helps me make more stuff like this. So if you want to see more banjo content from me, do that. It's very helpful. Thank you. So the first skill I would really like to see beginner banjo players spend a little bit more time on is learning their chords in a few different tunings. So I would go with open G and double C and just learn a couple of the major chords in those tunings, particularly the 1-4-5 chords. And I would also learn what 1-4-5 means and sort of that very common chord progression you see in old time music. So in open G tuning, the 1-4-5 chords will just be G, C, D, right? Learn those, get them under your belt, and get used to changing between them. And that will really help you when you are listening to songs and when you're learning songs to understand the underlying structure. And when you come across chords in a song that you're unfamiliar with, just take a few minutes and learn them. Okay, and then in double C, those chords are C, F, G. Get those under your belt as well, and that will really help you progress. Okay, skill number 2 is playing with a metronome. So look, I know this kind of looks maybe a little bit like a guitar. I really think that the banjo is more of a rhythm instrument. So look, if I'm in an open tuning and I just plunk around, I'm not even playing with my left hand, but my rhythm is solid, it can sound pretty good, right? Now, it doesn't really matter if my rhythm is off, how fancy my playing is, it's not gonna sound right, you know? If I'm hitching between those chords, if I'm not comfortable. So the way to overcome that is to play with a metronome. So this will just keep the time for you. Play slower than you think you need to, because it really will help. There's a saying I love, it's slow is smooth, smooth is fast. That is so true with the banjo. Play it slower than you think you need to, and you're gonna find that when you play faster, it's much easier. So play with a metronome, it will really help. All right, skill number 3 is experimenting with different tunings. I have talked to so many people that say like, oh, I've never been out of open G tuning. I think that's such a shame because there's so many beautiful tunings for the banjo, and it really helps if you start to learn them right in the beginning. And you can learn that these minor adjustments to the tuning can make a huge difference. So like as an example, open G tuning, bright, happy, whatever. Now watch, I raise up the second string into a D. Now I'm in sawmill tuning. We get this dark, droney sound. So I would say start to learn different tunings, start to understand what they sound like, do open G, double C, sawmill, Cumberland Gap, triple C, all these. And they're really going to be a lot of fun, and they're going to improve your skills as a banjo player in all the tunings. And then later, you're going to know what tuning to reach for depending on what sort of mood you want to set, which I think is really cool. All right, skill number 4, singing. Now, look, I know a lot of you don't really want to sing, in public. You don't want to sing in front of other people, whatever. But let me tell you, singing with your banjo will improve your skills as a banjo player. Here's why. When you sing, it forces you to boil down the song into its bare melody essence, right? And so it really helps ingrain the song in your head, and it actually helps you memorize songs when you sing with it. And it also sort of starts to train those pitches in your head, so when you hit a wrong note or something, you know it, which again helps you memorize. So even if you just sing badly with it, it's still going to help, I got a gal and she loves me, she's as sweet can be. even that, like that is going to help you improve as a banjo player. So get used to, singing or just doing along with your banjo. Believe me, it's actually going to help. And finally, we get to skill number 5. So this is kind of the big one that the other 4 lead into, and that is learning by ear. And look, this is so intimidating for beginner banjo players or intermediate or advanced banjo players. It's so intimidating to banjo players in general. And it doesn't have to be. Like if you work on these other 4 skills, it's going to lead into this 5th one. I do have it listed as a 5th skill though, because you still need to practice it. It's a fun skill to have, and it lets you start to build your own arrangements. So now, instead of just learning other people's songs, you're getting the music out of your head out through the banjo into the world, and that is very cool. That's for a lot of people, at least, and for me, that's like the ultimate goal, right? I've sort of got the version of something I'm hearing in my head. How do I get it out there? And so learning by ear is a big piece of that, being able to sort of hear the underlying chord structure of a song, being able to play it in time, being able to hear the melody, and so singing helps with that, and sort of being able to pick out the key and the tuning best to use for the song. So work on arranging by ear. And here's how I would say to do that. Next time you want to learn a song, right? You see someone playing a song on YouTube, you come across a tab, whatever, don't pop open the tab right away. Spend a half hour trying to plink out the song on your own. Just try to get the basic melody. And now, whenever you pick out a new song, just take a half hour in the beginning, right? You don't have to stress yourself out too much. It's not like you can never use tab. I still love using tab, but just try to see what you can come up with yourself first. And as you do this a few times, you're going to get faster and faster and better and better. And you're going to find pretty soon after a half hour, you're going to be like, well, why am I opening this tab? I pretty much got the song. I just got to work on it a little bit more and we're going to be good. And that is such a cool feeling. It feels like such an accomplishment. And I think it's one of the most fun parts of being a banjo player. All right, so I hope this helps, and I will see you next time.